Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Mills RX here, your friendly announcer, and we are about to talk about the injury reports for Week 13 matchup against the Broncos. Now, both squads are very banged up, as you're about to see, and hopefully, it's pretty much going to be whoever has the most amount of healthy bodies could potentially win this Week 13 matchup. Now, we really need to win this one after dropping the Week 12 matchup against the Jaguars at the last minute. So that was a bit of a problem. So let's see what we can do, and hopefully we can have enough healthy players for this matchup against the Broncos. So let's go ahead and dive right in and see who's in and who's out. Okay, let's go start with the Ravens injury report as we normally do. And even though we have a lot of people on there, there's really not that many people who are potentially injured. Now, we're going to start with Kyle Hamilton. Now, he was dealing with a posterior left knee contusion, and he got into limited practices. But as you can see today, we got that full one in. And from what I'm hearing, it is certain, not certain, but he is expected to play. So we'll see what the pregame workout is, and hopefully he'll be able to patrol the secondary with our starting cornerback Marlon Humphrey. Now he tweaked his ankle in the last game, and he was on the sideline trying to stretch it out. Now it was an ankle bruise. From what I understand, he didn't practice Wednesday because he was still feeling some pain, a little tightness. He was gotten a limited session um, Thursday, and he got that upgraded to a full session today. So he's probably in the same boat as Kyle Hamilton. He may play, he may not play. We'll just have to monitor the situation and see what is that going forward. Now, another surprise injury was outside linebacker Delshawn Phillips. Now he has a quad injury. Um, it it doesn't appear to be a tear. It's probably just a quad strain, but he didn't practice any this week. So even though he has questionable, I put him more on the doubtful side of that because he got no reps in or anything. Speaking of quad injuries, a big sigh of relief was for Lamar Jackson. Now he missed Wednesday, or he was limited Wednesday with a quad injury. Now, given his hip flexor problems, he has two hip flexor problems this season. And when I saw that, I immediately thought, okay, this may be the root of the problem. Maybe he tore his quad muscle, which is not good. But he was limited on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, kind of like what he did with his previous hip injuries. He got like about 15 to 20 minutes of some pre-practice physical therapy. He got stretched out. They worked on it so he can loosen up the quadriceps rectus muscle and those hip flexor muscles, so they wouldn't so they wouldn't get as tight when he goes through individual drills and when he does his throwing sessions. So that's what probably allowed him to upgrade to the two full practices, and he's been removed from the injury report. So he expect QB1 to be under center. Now, Ronnie Stanley, he was limited the first 2 days with that left lateral ankle sprain on the twice surgically repaired left ankle, but he didn't practice today, so he is a true game time decision. And I really, really, really think he misses another week because I don't trust that left ankle of his, like, at all. I don't think it's structurally sound, so I think we rest him and we don't risk it. And another one was Tylen Wallace. He has a hamstring strain. He didn't practice Wednesday. He was limited Thursday, but didn't practice today, and we just automatically just ruled him out. So um, so we're down one receiver. So and hopefully that's just a grade one strain and it's not a grade two strain, which will be a partial tear of the hamstring. So we'll monitor that situation going forward. And the Ravens has made quite a bit of moves over this time. We signed Daryl Worley to the active roster, as we tend to do. Um, Possibly in response to the next move because we placed corner Jalen Armour Davis on injury reserve. He's missed the past couple of weeks with a hip flexor problem. It is now confirmed he has a hip flexor tear. He has torn one of his hip flexor muscles, probably the psoas muscle near the iliac muscle as well too. So he probably tore one of those two muscles, which is not good. He will miss the next 4 games, at least the next 4 games. So that is bad. Hopefully, we can get him back for the stretch run. And also, we designated running back J.K. Dobbins to return to practice from the injury reserve because he had a knee endoscopy on his left knee and arthroscopic surgery to see the problem and to also remove some of the dead cells from his ACL LCL tear. And so that's a debridement procedure. So he had that cleaned up, and also he had an endoscopy to see if there's any other problems. He looks good, but he is now entering his 21-day window, and he is now also beginning his about 3 week or so ramp up period. So it's good to have him back on the field, and hopefully we can get him back soon too. And a big shout out to um, Engraven Vids because we signed one of his favorite players back to our practice squad, and that would be wide receiver Shamar Bridges. Now, as you remember, um he had a pretty good preseason where he was making catches, getting open. Very he's a very physical. He's a very physical receiver. He's also a Florida native. So that if that helps out a little bit. So yeah, but see the thing is he had surgery to repair a sports hernia like Charlie Kolar. So that's why we kind of released him with an injury settlement. But now he went through the 6 to 8 week recovery period. He is back, and it's good that we have him because we need another weapon. And with Tylan Wallace out, maybe he gets some play. And with also happy birthday to Deshaun Jackson. But with Deshaun Jackson, pretty much every time he plays, he has a hamstring problem because he hasn't played much. He's still getting back up to game speed. But who knows? Maybe we get Shamar in as well too. Maybe we activate both of them, and we have more weapons for Lamar. So that's a good thing. So yep, welcome back, Shamar Bridges, and happy birthday, Deshaun Jackson. Now let's see who's going to be riding for the Broncos injury report. Sorry, had to do it. Now, like us, they are falling apart. Now, their linebacker Dakota Allen, he has a hamstring strain. He's out. He hasn't practiced all week. Um, um, Kind of like their version of Patrick Ricard. He plays the same role as Patrick Ricard. Andrew Beck, he has the flu, and also he has a hamstring injury. He's out too, so they're not going to take some time. KJ Hamler is actually going to be out indefinitely because he had a setback in his hamstring tear recovery. So who knows how long he's going to be out? But yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Um, their defensive lineman Jonathan Harris, he has a knee sprain. He's out. Cortland Sutton, he's a coin flip because he also has the flu, but and he really hadn't practiced all week, but they say he's questionable. He may play. Jerry Judy, that ankle's been bothering him all season. I think it's a high ankle sprain. I think it probably is a higher ankle sprain, and I don't think he plays. And also, and when I saw this, I felt really bad for this guy, Kwan Williams. Now, listen to this. He has a wrist contusion, an elbow sprain, and a knee bruise. So, and he's questionable to play, but I just say put him in bubble wrap and put him on a shelf, and until he can get healthy, I really don't think he plays. He really shouldn't play because we don't want any of those injuries getting worse. And like us, the Broncos have made quite a few moves. They promoted running back Divine Ozigbo, wide receiver Brandon Johnson, and cornerback Fabian Hicks to their active roster from the practice squad, and then they went ahead and waived running back Divine Ozigbo, but then because they designated Mike Boone, who is returning to practice from the injury reserve, and then also they signed another linebacker Harvey Lange, and of course running back Divine Ozigbo back to their practice squad. So this is the normal chess moves that the practice squad is, and like them adding another practice spot this season has really allowed a lot of the front offices to get very strategic and very just play around with the roster. Some guys that like getting kind of like with us with Daryl Worley because we bought him back because we bought him in, cut him, bought him in, cut him, but now he's on the active roster because we placed Jalen Armour Davis on the injury reserve. But yep, those are the injuries for the Broncos and the Ravens. Hopefully, we can get a W this week. But yep, once again, Mills RX. You can follow me at Ravens Medical on YouTube and at Game Medicine on Twitter. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and go Ravens.